If you've seen Minecraft the movie, you know Malgosha isn't exactly the queen of kindness. She rules the Nether with fear, crushes her own followers, and will destroy an entire world just to get her hands on a glowing cube. But what if the Minecraft universe had laws? Real laws? It's time to find out what would happen if Malgosha finally had to answer for every single crime she committed. Let's begin, starting with Malgosha captures Steve and locks him up in the Nether with no trial, no warning, and no way out. She doesn't stop there. She uses his wolf Dennis as leverage, threatening harm if Steve doesn't give her the creation cube. This isn't strategy. It's coercion wrapped in cruelty. Keeping someone trapped without cause isn't just a villain move. It's illegal. Steve isn't a soldier or a threat to her people. He's just a guy who said no. And for that, she turns a peaceful miner into a prisoner, held in the dark, completely powerless. This is false imprisonment, holding someone against their will with no legal authority. In any system that values freedom, that's a serious crime. If caught, Malgosha would face 4 years in prison for false imprisonment, and that's only the beginning. Malgosha doesn't just command the piglins, she terrorizes them. When they fail to find gold, she doesn't punish them or send them home. She threatens to turn them into pork chops, and from the silence that follows, it's clear she already has. This isn't a warning or an empty threat, it's an execution. She kills her own soldiers just for disappointing her. No trial, no mercy, no hesitation. These aren't enemies, they're her people. And she treats them like meat. Killing someone under your command for failing a task is murder. There's no war, no self-defense, no justification. Its power is used purely to destroy, and that makes Malgosha guilty of the highest possible crime. If caught, Malgosha would face a life sentence for murder, and that's still not the worst thing she's done. At one point, Malgosha doesn't ask Steve to give the cube back. She demands it. She traps him in the Nether and tells him straight up, return the creation cube, or his wolf Dennis stays locked up for good. That's not a deal. It's a threat. She's not just holding Steve. She's using someone he loves to force his hand. Coercion like this is a serious offense. If caught, Malgosha would get 5 years in prison just for using fear to control someone's actions. And it doesn't stop there. Dennis is an innocent animal caught in the middle. Locking him up to get to Steve? That's animal cruelty, worth another 1 year in prison. And that's only for one of her many dirty tricks, because next, it gets even darker. In the Nether, Malgosha doesn't lead with respect. She rules with fear. There are no elections, no councils, no choice. The piglins follow her because they're scared, not because they trust her. And when they fail her, she threatens to turn them into pork chops. That's not leadership, it's a dictatorship. She controls everything and answers to no one. The piglins don't get a say, they get orders. Running a government like this isn't just unfair, it's a human rights violation on a massive scale. In any just system, this kind of power grab comes with the highest penalty. If caught, Malgosha would face the death sentence for crimes against her own people. And somehow, her worst crime is still ahead. When Malgosha wants the orb, she doesn't send a message, she sends an army. The piglins invade a peaceful village, attacking unarmed civilians who never stood a chance. No declaration, no defense, just destruction. This isn't a battle, it's an ambush. Homes burn, creatures flee, and the villagers, who had nothing to do with her war, pay the price. That's not just evil, that's a war crime. Under international law, targeting non-combatants in a military strike is one of the most serious crimes possible. And if Malgosha were caught, she'd face the death sentence. But that's not all. During the assault, piglins also fly into the skies over the overworld. No clearance, no regulation, just chaos in the clouds. In our world, flying through restricted airspace without permission comes with a massive fine. For violating airspace during an illegal invasion, Malgosha would owe $100,000 in penalties, and she's still not done breaking the law. Malgosha doesn't just lead piglins, she experiments on them. When her army fails, she unveils her secret weapon, the Great Pig. Not born, but built. It's a massive, stitched-together monster with a brain implant turned into a tool for destruction. This isn't magic, it's mutilation. The Great Pig is the result of illegal experimentation, tampering with life itself to create a living weapon. It's part piglin, part machine, all nightmare. And worst of all, it never had a choice. Creating a creature like this breaks every ethical boundary imaginable. It's not just cruel, it's illegal. Forced experimentation, body modification without consent, and weaponizing a living being. If caught, Malgosha would face a life sentence for illegal piglin experimentation. And the Great Pig was only the beginning. General Chungus was loyal, strong, respected, and one of the only piglins who followed orders without fear. But after failing to stop the heroes, he made one mistake. He came back empty-handed. Malgosha didn't yell, she didn't scold. She crushed him. No trial, no second chances, just death, delivered by the very leader he served. That's not punishment, that's cold-blooded murder. Killing your own general for failing a mission isn't discipline, it's execution without cause. And even in the darkest parts of the Nether, that crosses a line. If caught, Malgosha would face a life sentence for the murder of General Chungus, and her crimes keep piling up. Before the attack on the mansion, Malgosha doesn't strike right away. She waits, watches, tracks every move the heroes make as they search for tools, diamonds, and answers. She follows them across the overworld, quiet, hidden, always one step behind. This isn't strategy, it's stalking. She doesn't confront them, she studies them. She waits until the moment they're weak, then swoops in and steals everything. Following someone without their knowledge across multiple locations with the intent to harm, that's not clever. That's criminal. If caught, Malgosha would face 5 years in prison for stalking with malicious intent. And she's not done watching. She's planning her next move. When the heroes finally get the orb and the Enderman crystal, they think they've won. But Malgosha has been waiting. No warning, no fight. She just shows up, grabs both artifacts, and disappears into the shadows. She doesn't earn them. She doesn't battle for them. She just takes. This isn't petty theft. It's grand larceny. The orb isn't some trinket. It's the most powerful object in the Minecraft world. And Malgosha stealing it puts every realm at risk. In the real world, stealing something that valuable would land you serious time behind bars. If caught, Malgosha would face 25 years in prison for grand larceny. And with power like that in her hands, things only get worse from here. With the orb and crystal in hand, Malgosha doesn't just run, she starts building a portal strong enough to flood the overworld with darkness. Her goal isn't revenge, it's complete control. She wants to wipe out creativity, peace, and everything that makes the overworld what it is. This isn't just a threat, it's world domination. She's not trying to rule with laws. She's trying to destroy and rebuild everything in her own image. No freedom, no resistance, just total power under her command. Trying to take over an entire world by force? That's more than villainy. It's a global crime. If caught, Malgosha would face the death sentence for attempting to destroy and conquer the overworld. And even then, she wouldn't stop unless someone made her. At the end, Malgosha doesn't just attack, she unleashes chaos. With the orb and crystal in her hands, she summons her army for one final strike. Creepers, piglins, and the great pig storm the overworld, tearing through villages and burning everything in sight. She doesn't target fighters, she targets everyone. Kids, animals, homes, nothing is off limits. It's destruction for the sake of power. This isn't a battle, it's an invasion, and it violates every rule of war. Launching an attack like this with zero care for innocent lives qualifies as a war crime on the highest level. If caught, Malgosha would face the death sentence for her role in the final assault on the overworld. And by that point, there's no doubt she's not a leader. She's a one-woman apocalypse. In the end, Malgosha loses everything. Her army is gone. Her monster, the Great Pig, is destroyed. The heroes tear down her machines, shatter her portal, and take back the orb. She tries one last attack, lunging at Steve with a hidden blade, but he's ready. He blocks her over and over until she has nothing left. And instead of finishing her off, he walks away. No glory, no revenge, just silence. She's left alone in the ruins of her own empire, surrounded by the wreckage she created. But if this were real, she wouldn't just be left behind. As we close Malgosha's chapter, her list of crimes is longer than a Nether stronghold hallway. From turning piglins into pork chops to building portals that nearly wiped out the overworld to murdering her own general just for failing once, Malgosha racked up death sentences, life in prison, and enough charges to keep her locked up for eternity. One thing's clear, she wasn't just a villain, she was a one-witch disaster. If you want to see more villains face justice, click the video on screen now.